Going over my trades for the 6th of December 2024 session. This is the Friday session. I traded the ES and the Nasdaq today. Unfortunately, because I was trading the ES, I missed on a really good trade on the Nasdaq. I had a really good trade on the Nasdaq, but I pulled it off super early because I was not really convinced of the move. But in hindsight, my trade was not invalidated at all, and I was just letting the previous sessions affect me, which was this previous kind of like chop range. I was just not expecting the market to actually have any sort of solid movement, so I was expecting this kind of chop as well. So I was waiting for a pullback into the low for like the mid 400s to have a buy instead of trying to long the top, because coming from here, essentially what I was looking at was what are the chances that, I guess, after 2 days of just chop sideways balance movement, that we just have a breakout. Well, I guess we just had the breakout today. So yeah, I had the trade to start, couldn't quite get it, and I was already in a short on the ES, so I couldn't time my entry on the Nasdaq. Kind of hard to do both markets at the same time, especially when I'm trying to take a trade in the opposite direction on the Nasdaq. But I'll show you what I looked at on the Nasdaq, and I'll show you my trades in the ES as well. So with the Nasdaq, market opened and we were already supporting a previous inflection area that I was looking at. This was a bit of a tricky short to get, long to get into. We pretty much were supporting at high prices going into the market open, put a high volume into here and then tapering off at this point, and then we end up moving up again. Couldn't get that in terms of timing, but in over here when I noted that we were putting in high lows with selling getting absorbed, and I noted the final bit of high volume selling coming in and tapering off with low volume, entered long off that with my stop just below the 505s at this area here. Didn't get invalidated at all. The only reason I took it off was I just didn't like how the buying was tapering off here, considering that there was absorption here as well at the 30s, which is previously where we were rejecting at the previous session. So at the 530s, at this section here. So this was yesterday's session of the the 5th of December, and the 530s is exactly where buyers were just getting absorbed the entire time, and we rejected the market down for a little bit of a sell-off before. So I was kind of seeing it as a point where they were just maybe rejecting again. So I was kind of not keen to hold it, even though my trade was invalidated. But once again, my mistake there was I was letting previous session movement affect me, and my trade was not invalidated, so I should have just held it. But yeah, it's unfortunate because we ended up moving up over 100 points from that section there, pretty much straight into the 40s. I was looking at a pullback into this section here, so this is based on the fact that the previous yesterday's high was at 567, and also the fact that we had market support this area here, so an imbalance coming here, support an area here. So this was a previous area of rejection yesterday and now a current area of support, so this was a valid inflection zone for me to draw. So inflection zones, like I explained, how I work it is the market either stays above it or below it. So yesterday it stayed below this point, and today it's staying above this point with an area valid bounce at this area here. And also coming into this area here, we kind of had a bit of I guess resistance as well. So it's valid in terms of the fact that we're staying below this area, broke above it, and we stayed above it. So looking for a pullback into here to buy the market, and unfortunately I was in a short on the ES, so I couldn't quite time that move because I was waiting for a pullback. We ended up getting a pullback. There was a good short option here, so a large amount of buying coming in, low volume buying, exhausted buyers come back down, absorbed at the level of 35 over and over again, and then we had the short down. a retest back into the level, and then we had a short down right into the area I was looking at to buy the market. Good in time. There was a good entry here, so high volume of selling coming in, high volume selling coming in, tapering off, low volume, buyers stepping in now, holding this price, a valid entry here with a stop just below it, 70s. And yeah, we had the move up, supported the 600s, and now we have another move up into its highs of the session again. So I did attempt to catch this move at 600s, but I took it off because I was just like, I'm kind of chasing a move that's already happened. My risk is not really anywhere I can clearly set it. Like, I'll have to set my risk to like the 85s, which is around where the selling got absorbed previously. So this is way too wide. So kind of took it as I'm just chasing a move after I missed the entry, just with the time. So this is at 3:13 a.m. when the bounce happened, which I want to note is when I had to exit my trade on the ES as well. So yeah, maybe I just need more screens, and I can have multiple thumbs up. Maybe, I don't know. Have a look at the ES. So I was trying to time a move on the ES. Had a few too many trades here, trying to catch a move. I had a really good entry with my short, just based off yesterday's high, which was 107.25. We were kind of struggling here. There was indication that there was no more upwards movement on the ES, and ended up just kind of having to pull my head in, just wait a bit for more confirmation, and then took the short, and got out at the previous area of rally-based rally, so demand area. So there's a good rally-based rally here. It's aiming for the middle point of that, a high volume node, so more likely to reach that point, and we ended up flushing down into the area on the ES. I'll also show the footprint as well and what I was looking at. So this is the ES reversal footprint. So market opened, uptrending market, coming into the 110s. We had some high volume of buying absorption here, and what I was looking at was the fact that when the buyers got up to the 11s, there was just really no interest to continue the move upwards, just completely lacking in buyers. Once again, absorption at the similar price of the 110s, not really continuing into the 11s. Yeah, absorption, and at lower prices as well as we go along. When I did finally take the trade, it was over here where I saw the fact that there was a high volume of buying absorption here, and then it's just tapering off again. And yeah, that's when we had the flush down. So yeah, market moving up till the last buyer is buying up at these highs, and since there's no more buying up at the highs, the market moves down. I had a good entry, which I should have held with the stop of 11 at this point. I probably could have timed it better as well with taking the trade at the 109s maybe, and then have stop 11s. But this is more so Carmine's kind of trading style, not really what I trade naturally, like what I look at, like with the inflection zones and continuation or reversal. In that sense, so which is why I had too many attempts trying to catch a move, and then being unsure and trying to catch a long in the opposite direction. So that really does represent I'm not as familiar with that trading style, and I'm not as comfortable holding a trade maybe, or not as confident in the setup as well maybe. So maybe I just need to repeat it a few times and kind of get used to it. But yeah, it is a bit tough trying to trade two markets at the same time. I was looking at a move on the Nasdaq, but then I was looking at a move on the ES as well. I did catch a good move on the ES, but yeah, so yeah, just getting a bit more familiar with this kind of trading pattern and trading style. So yeah, high volume buying absorbed above yesterday's highs, 107.25, which is this line here on my crosshair, and buyers just having no continuations into the 11s, getting trapped, and lower highs, with buyers getting absorbed at lower highs, and just no interest to move the market up. So last buyer has bought at these highs here, and the market moves down with some selling into that rally-based rally level of 95. So yeah, with the heat map itself, so we're an uptrending market catching a reversal based on the fact that it's mean reverting, and it'll mean reversion back down towards kind of like a lower point in the range or consolidation area. What I first was interested in was the fact that high volume buying came into the 10s, and then we moved down, and there was just not really any continuation at this point here. Took the market short, and I just didn't like how there was just supporting, like, sellers getting absorbed here, and we moved up again. So maybe I was a bit too early to the move, so kind of kept it as it is. Saw the lower, so this is the push into the 11s, and there was far less volume than at this point here, and this was the valid entry short that I should have held the entire time, and should trust this setup and maybe taking the market short at the 09s instead of a bit lower down in the 07s. Once again, due to the familiarity with this kind of trading strategy and trading style, I guess. And yeah, so that's far lower volume, far less interested buyers to push new highs here, and these bars essentially now putting a lot of effort above yesterday's highs. It was just 10725 at this point here. I just didn't like how we were just not really moving down past this point of sellers getting absorbed, so I just took the market, took it off here, and then saw a flush down into the 04s, a reclaim back into that range that we're kind of consolidating in. And now I was of two minds here, like, are we actually gonna maybe push up high, maybe break this high here? So I was kind of seeing the fact that we came into the highs again, and this time with like, you know, a few more buyers as well, kind of tapering off still, but the fact that we tried to push down here and this didn't manage to go down, and there was lower interest of sellers as well, then I was kind of seeing if I can catch a move more so in the trend of the day to see a continued breakout to the top side here. So I took the market long. Didn't like the fact that there was a whole lot of buying effort here, and then we kind of just chopped around, like, as in we didn't get a move back up off that buying effort there. So I took it off and took the short again at this point here. Took it off early again at the 107s because we were getting back above yesterday's highs, and I was kind of seeing as we're moving back into the highs. So I took it long again, and this is where I noted that I was just kind of going back and forth. So I took it short again here, and I was just going back and forth. This short I should have held because we were, far less interest in buyers as well, going into the initial balance high, going into where the buyers were just not really tapering off. So this was the valid short entry, and this is the best entry that I had, which I should have held, but that's fine. Another entry opportunity here, so less buyers again coming into the highs as you saw on the footprint. So kind of noted the fact that I was kind of back and forth here, flipping back and forth, not really like having a good thesis and sticking to it, which was the original fact that the buyers are kind of tapering off above yesterday's high, and they're not really getting a move or continue to move in that direction, so they're kind of trapped. So decided to just kind of pull my head and just wait a bit. Waited the entire time for more confirmation, and I got that confirmation where we ended up having this volume absorption at a lower price, moved down into the low 100s. So now I was like, okay, there's a bit more of a move here that was happening, and then we came back up, and I waited until I saw buyers get absorbed at a lower price again, and then they just tapered off here. So high volume buying coming in, tapering off volume, entered market short at that point there. Had a retest here, and I could have probably added some contracts maybe, but just waited, and we ended up moving down, and we came into the 9.5s, 9.6s, 6096, 6095, which is that rally area, and I saw the selling getting absorbed here, and then this low volume kind of dying out, so I just took it off there. And that's pretty much exactly where we kind of retested and moved up from. So kind of going sideways now, and once again we're 2 hours into the US market open at this point. So yeah, when I took off my trade, once again the time that I was looking at, so this is 3:13 a.m. and 3:13 a.m. was also where the Nasdaq long opportunity was. So while I was in this trade and looking to exit this trade, the Nasdaq was in my buy area looking for a bounce, so I was just not really able to capitalize on that move, unfortunately, even though I specifically had that lined up and I was looking for it, because I was already in the ES short, but that's fine. Called this short. Like I said, too many attempts here. I just need to familiarize myself more with the strategy, like catching a reversal in an uptrending market or downtrending market. timing the reversal as well, and seeing like the lack of continuation here, and really having faith in that setup, with the fact that if the market's going to move up until the last buyer buys, the market's going to move down until the last seller sells, and there's valid confirmation here that there's just a lack of interest to move the prices past the 110s at this point in time. So yeah, good short entry over here, and on the Nasdaq there was a good long entry right at the start of the session. I let the previous sessions affect me with that trade, and I took it off far too early. I took it off without any invalidation. So that was trading the emotions moment rather than the process. So that's all right. We'll keep that in mind and go forwards.